WMDSF magazine, reporting live at Power 105.1 with Angela Yee. How you doing, Angela?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Can't complain. So we're going to start out with some of your information. Everybody wants to know how you got your start as a radio personality. Did it choose you or did you choose it?
Well, I started off as Sirius Satellite Radio. And actually, I was working before that for Eminem, for Paul Rosenberg, for his clothing line, Shady Limited. And I saw an opportunity in the marketing department at Sirius. So I asked Paul, could you get me an interview? And I'll just take it from there. I don't need a job. I just want to get an interview. And I know you got the connects because they had the radio station. Mm-hmm. They had Shade 45. So Paul says to me, well, you know what? They're looking for a female on the morning show. Why don't you try it out and see if it works for you? So I was like, all right. I had never did radio before. So I was super nervous when I first started, but I was given that opportunity. And then once, they let me in the door, that's it.
Wow.
I went crazy with it. So I actually, for the first few months that I worked there, I didn't go out ever. I was like at home every night, making sure I got plenty of sleep, making sure I was always like looking up information and just reading everything just so I would be just on top of it. Yeah.
Yes. It's always on top. You always have to stay on top, which I'll get to later on. But when you were offered the position with Hot 97, you got offered twice. Mm-hmm. Why did you turn it down?
The reason I didn't take that position was I was at Sirius and they really wanted me to stay there. And they offered to give me the morning show. So it would be my morning show. Right. So to me, at Hot 97, when I was talking to them about the position, I said, okay, so it would be me, Cypher, Rosenberg. Are we all equals on the show? And they told me no, it's actually going to be their show, and you're going to be the one that does, the rumors and the traffic, the weather, and that type of thing. And to me, I kind of felt like, well, I have my own show now. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go and move to a show where I have a lesser position. Right. And so I told them, I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. I really want to build up myself as a personality and build up my brand and my name, and then hopefully walk into a bigger position. And I didn't feel like that was right for me at that time when, satellite radio might not has been as big as that, but it was also just better for me as far as what I wanted to do in my career and building myself up. I didn't want to just be, the person that does the rumors, the person that does the traffic and the weather. I really wanted a bigger position. So I said, let me sharpen my skills.
Right. That worked out for you, right?
I did. It was a great decision. Yeah. A lot of times I think the fact that I wasn't trained to do radio and that wasn't like my career goal, maybe I would have been like brainwashed to think, okay, this job offers, never comes. Let me just take it and figure it out from there. But I just, the money wasn't right. The position wasn't right for me. So I felt like I made a very practical decision that most people might not have made.
Right. It's a good choice you made. So look, it worked out for you.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to go with your instinct.
Exactly. So what influenced you to do the reality TV show that everybody knows you're on the Gossip Game on VH1?
Well, reality TV has always been like a scary thing for people because it has such a taboo, a stigma attached to it. People feel like reality TV is just so ratchet, blah, blah, blah. You got to fight. You got to do this. It's women arguing with each other, talking about each other behind each other's backs. But the way this show was presented to me was like, okay, it's going to be about your professional life. There's going to be some personal stuff, obviously, because that matters also. But it's more about what you do for a living. It could be inspirational. We're going to show you at work. We're going to show, how you get to where you want to go. People are so interested in what you do. And I do agree. People are interested in what we do for a living. So, my friend Kim Osorio had agreed to do it. So I was like, all right, Kim's on it. There were other cast members that they were trying to get involved. And it was mostly people that I knew and I was cool with. So I was like, all right, it sounds like a good idea.
Right. And it kind of pans out. I mean, when you compare it to the other reality TV shows, I don't think it's as ratchet as the other ones.
The level of it is not as high.
Yeah, it's not. It's
on
not.
a scale of 1 to 10.
Exactly. On the show, K.Foxx is always looking to start ish with you, Sharon, and Viv. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I mean, people have a lot of speculations of what they think it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think for me, naturally, we were pitted against each other from the very first episode. Right. But I do feel like, she might have something personal against me. It might be a professional thing. I don't know if it's a personal thing. I honestly, have no idea. And I feel like she doesn't see what it is that she does. It's very hypocritical. She'll say, oh, Angela talks about me in interviews. Well, if you ask about her, I'm going to answer the question, and you talk about us as well. Right. I don't get offended by it. I don't say, you know.
You handle it very well.
Because I don't get offended by anything. I'm not the type of person that has, you know, I have very tough skin. So, and I feel a lot of that can be attributed to like my gradual, you know, going from satellite to power to TV. I was able to build up like my resistance to the things that people say about you. And so it's fine with me. I feel like, okay, my job is I report on people all the time. So people have things to say about me. How can I be upset about that? Right. If that's your job and you can do it, then you have to be able to take it when people do it back to you. So I knew that putting myself in this position was opening myself up to criticism, opening myself up to, you know, people talking shit about you is what it is.
Did she not expect the whole thing to come out with Mano and her? And when I mean, I don't know if it's true. I don't want to put anything out there, but
I mean, true or not true, I mean, stories are going to come up all the time.
Exactly.
And I always feel like it's how you handle it. Like, to me, people ask me about stuff that's not true. And if it's not true, I'm not going to get mad and drag it out and be, you know, not talk to you and call you names. I'm just going to be like, oh my God, that's not true. You know, and it's not that big a deal.
Didn't she start it first where she was talking about everybody else and, you know, she called you fake and she called Sharon conceited and Viv a bitch. Like,
yeah, and I think calling somebody, you know, I don't care if you call me fake, whatever, it doesn't bother me. But to call Vivian a bitch, I feel like that's such a harsh word to use.
Exactly.
And if you're a person that's always talking about like female empowerment and, you know, as a woman, you have to be this and you have to rise and we put each other down and you should know better. I think you should know better too. You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you call another woman a bitch? You won't hear me talk about people like that. Like, even on the show, you don't hear me call anybody a name. I don't address anybody like, oh, you look this or you look crazy or whatever. I don't address any of those things with people. If it's, you know, something specific that you ask me or anything that I have to say or I think you're acting ridiculous, I'll say that.
Exactly.
You know, if you have a photo shoot and it didn't look that nice, I'll tell you the truth. It didn't look that nice.
Exactly.
You know?
Keep it 100.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women get lost in that when they feel like they're showing sisterhood and they kind of get lost in the source and they don't keep it real with each other. I mean, if you have something to say, just say like it is.
And you know what? Criticism is what it is. I've done photo shoots that were terrible before and, you know, I would appreciate that type of criticism. I wouldn't tell you something just to be malicious. Like, I try to find the good in everything. So I can say, okay, well, you know what? You had your first photo shoot. It didn't work out that well. I've had photo shoots that didn't go so well. I know it's nerve-wracking. You learn from your experiences. You learn from your mistakes. Some people just, you know.
Just harp on it.
Yeah.
So what's up with Miss Drama? I mean, it seems like nobody on the show cares for her too much.
Well, I think Miss Drama puts herself in that position. You know, I feel like early on there were situations where they asked me to like talk to her, and I tried. Like I tried to tell her my opinions, and she doesn't want to hear it. You know, I tell her, well, have you tried doing this? And this is important. And you know, if you want to feel like I gave her all kinds of advice. I said, you know, if you want to get really great interviews or build these relationships, you have to be friendly with people.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying you got to be best friends with everybody, but I should feel like I can open up to you because you've opened up to me. But she doesn't want to divulge anything about her own personal life. That's why, you know, I may be talking to her, oh, are you dating anybody? Blah, blah, blah. Like, let's get more comfortable with each other. Let's have a fun rapport. Right. And that way, if you need anything from me, if I need anything from you, I could feel like, okay, I don't just know you, but we have some type of
chemistry.
Some type of relationship with each other where we've had some fun, but that's not what she wants to do.
Right. She seems like she's burning a lot of bridges on that show.
She is, and I think that she just, you know, she is very focused on this is me, this is about me, this is what I'm doing, and not really realizing that there's a way to go about it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And just even the whole thing with Vivian, like she was talking about Vivian so badly, and then wondering why Vivian doesn't like her, but it's like she knew what buttons to push to make Vivian mad and then try to turn it around like she was a victim.
Right.
You know, or showing up to Sharon's birthday party and just coming in there and, you know, talking to her and talking crazy to her at her birthday party that you weren't invited to. And then what do you think is going to happen? Like, that's just not a cool thing to do.
Exactly. Have they rectified things since then? No. I
didn't
see that.
They don't like each other.
So at K.Foxx's party, you were confronted by Rosenberg. And he made all these accusations about you telling the media that you guys got into it or he was trying to get with you. And to be honest, I thought he was quite thirsty. Because even though he was talking to K.Foxx and he was saying, oh, well, I don't know this girl. And he was describing your breast and all this other stuff. But he sounded like he was interested.
Well, you know what? First of all, you know, there's just a lot of mistakes that on that episode there was. just a whole lot of things with Peter Rosenberg. Number one, I know for a fact that he was saying, oh, I'm going to turn up, the cameras are on. I saw him like a few days before that.
Wow.
I've seen him several times. The story that he's talking about was like 2.5 years ago. I didn't care about it then when it happened. I don't know who put the story out. I've never sent a story to media takeout before in my life. Like, why would I do that? And number two, you're not even a celebrity. Like, who cares?
Right.
Like, does anybody care who Peter Rosenberg is? No one cares about you.
That's what I was thinking.
So my whole thing was, why would I even do that? And so when the story came out, he was like, well, maybe you didn't, but you didn't address it. Why? Why would I address it? No one cares. Like, I don't even care about this story.
Do you think he was using this as a platform to make himself a little bit more relevant?
I think he was just trying to get some camera time, because if I've seen you in the past 2.5 years, you know, out and about several times, and you've never mentioned it to me, and you've come up to me and said, oh, congratulations on everything, and try to give me a hug, then don't all of a sudden bring up something that happened years ago just because you see cameras rolling. Like, to me, it just came out of nowhere. I was like, yo, what are you even talking about?
What is this guy talking about?
Right now, I don't even think about that story. It's so, like, nothing to me. And then, you know, I just feel like sometimes people like to do things, like he'll do that on camera and then see me again after that out and about and try to talk to me. And it's like, dude, you got to be consistent. Like, if you want to act like that on camera, then just act like that in person. I don't just turn on and turn off when certain things are happening. I'm very consistent. The way I treat you when the cameras are rolling are going to be the same way that I treat you when I see you in person. I'm not going to act, you know, crazy. Oh, my God, you did this. And then when the cameras are rolling, like, hey, can we talk? I want to be your friend. Like, no, we're not friends.
It don't work like that.
Yeah, we're not friends. Just be for real.
And just K.Foxx was just feeding off of that whole situation.
Oh, she loved it.
Yeah, she sparked it and then tells you to back down. Like, why are you starting this? Like, she's the one who was trying to instigate this whole situation.
No, I think she definitely really enjoyed that, you know. But, I mean, it is what it is. It probably made the party more exciting for her.
Probably did.
That was the most exciting thing that happened all night.
Exactly. After you guys left, the whole party was like,
it was over.
Done. Yeah, it was basically done. So, on the episode of The Gossip Game, Kim's husband, Keno, he informed her that men could care less about women's opinions when she talked about her upcoming panel. And he was very adamant about the fact that nobody cares, no man cares about what a woman's opinion is. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Keno was definitely over-exaggerating and being super harsh about it. I don't think that's true. You know, I think that in general, as people, we have very short attention spans. So it is true that you have to keep on doing things. Like, a lot of people, if you watch video clips, they're 2 minutes, 3 minutes long. So it is hard to keep people's attention, whether you're a male or a female. Just in general, yes, you have to, you know, make sure that things are exciting and things are happening. It can't just be something that's just my opinion on something. It has to be more than that. So it is true that you have to really, you know, spice things up.
Right. Okay. In the hip hop industry, as a woman, do you feel that you get the respect that you deserve?
I mean, you know what? I always am looking to, like, feel that I can achieve more and do better and bigger and better things. But I'm also very humble. I don't expect that everybody knows who I am. I don't expect that, you know, people think I'm the best thing in the world. People are going to like me. People are not going to like me. And I think that's important for people to realize. Like, the more you put yourself out there, the higher the number of people that don't like you is going to be. Because the more people know you, there's going to be more people that like you. And with those people come the people that don't like you. So it is what it is. That's not what I worry about. What I worry about is doing my job and representing myself in the way that I feel like I really am and being true to myself. So, you know, I take, like, this job at Power 105 is the most important thing. Like, this comes before everything. If I have a vacation plan and this happened before and something important happens at work and I can't go on my vacation, so be it. I'm not going to take my vacation, you know. This comes before everything. So, to me, it's like you do the work and then whatever comes with that comes with that.
Exactly. If you had to pick one person to be dismissed from the Gossip Game, who would it be? Let's be honest.
One of the real cast members or one of the side cast members?
I would say one of the real. There's a lot of side people, but one of the real cast members.
I mean, I would definitely get rid of K.Foxx.
Okay.
You know, if I could dismiss somebody from the show. She's the only
you would keep Miss Drama?
Yeah, she don't really, like, you know.
She don't really do much.
Yeah, she don't really do much. I'm just, sometimes it's just irritating how, you know, just them pitting me against her. It's just like, all right, you're out of here. That your whole crew.
Right, exactly. So you guys are at the top of your game with the Breakfast Club. Do you feel the pressure of having to stay there?
I feel like, yeah, there's always pressure, you know, and it matters to us. Like, what matters to us more than what the ratings are and all of that, that's important, because that's important up here. Right. But I really enjoy people that listen to our interview and love that. Mm-hmm. Like, I love people when they say, oh, I just saw your interview with DMX, or I just saw your interview with Ray J, that was hilarious. Or, hilarious. You know, I saw you guys talking to K. Michelle, that was so funny. Like, that means so much more to me than people just saying, okay, the ratings are in and they're this, this, and that. I just love the fact that people all over, when I travel places, just have seen, you know, oh, I love when you guys did that, just creating those moments.
Right, exactly. So that kind of brings us to the next question. I know you recently interviewed K. Michelle, mm-hmm. and you talked about the incident that occurred between her and Rashida from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, mm-hmm. when she threw the wax at her.
Yeah.
And her response was, you, let me see, quote it, you run up, you get done up. Was her response. Was that a response you expected from her, as Charlamagne titled her the Queen of Ratchet?
I never know what K. Michelle is going to say. You know, I mean, that was the one thing I could criticize K. Michelle for, because I really like her a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, I think she can sing. You know, I think she flies off the handle, but I like her whole personality. I think she's funny. But as far as, like, the throwing the wax, I was like, okay, that could have went totally left. Like, you don't know what could have mm-hmm. happened, if it could have gotten her eye, blah, blah, blah. And I honestly, after being on a show, you don't know how things are edited to look. Like, I don't know what really happened. Right. I don't know if she really ran up on her and then that was her reaction. I can't say what really happened behind the scenes.
Right.
I just look at things from, you know, my point of view, where that could have went so terribly wrong. It's one thing to, like, argue with somebody and, you know, push or whatever, but it's another thing when you're, like, throwing candle wax.
Exactly. Especially she's pregnant, too, on top of that.
I don't think they knew she was pregnant.
Right, at that time. Yeah, that's true. So I know that you love to collect shoes. Mm-hmm. Who is your favorite shoe designer?
Well, it's hard to have a favorite. It's like saying who's your favorite child.
For real.
You know? So
although people do have some.
Yeah, but we're not going to admit it. But, I mean, there's a lot of designers that, like, these are Ruthie Davis that I have on now, and I love Ruthie Davis shoes. I just went to a sample sale of hers the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, everybody loves Lubies, and, you know, I do, because they do make great shoes, so I have to, you know, give it up to them. I like Charlotte Olympia. I like Cassidy. I like Giuseppe's.
Oh, I love Giuseppe's.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not one child that I could say I favor over the other.
Over the other. Well, you know how we are as women. I understand that with the shoe addiction came some serious debt. How did you manage to get out of it, and what advice do you have for us shoe shopaholics?
Well, it wasn't necessarily the shoes that got me into debt. I'm going to be honest. I was doing a lot of things. Like, I was working with artists. I was actually working with Jay Electronica for a while and putting a lot of stuff on my card. Mm-hmm. So I ended up having to, obviously, at some point pay that back. But I feel like, you know, what I ended up doing was paying off my smallest credit card bills first. Okay. And getting those out of the way, and then just concentrating on one and only using one credit card when I had to. And really, it came down to, I just said to myself, I just got to make more money.
Exactly.
Because there's certain things that I got to do, that I want to do, that I love doing, that I'm not going to stop doing. And because of that, I said, I got to get up there, get out. And if I want to, you know, be able to do certain things, travel and shop and, you know, invest into my own future and career and certain classes that I want to take and equipment that I want to buy, then I got to make more money. Exactly. And so I went ahead and did that. I have all my side hustles, consulting, got a job, got more money. When I was at Sirius, I went in there, I said, I need a raise, you know.
That's right.
And I sat down and I chronicled everything that I did. I had all my press that I had, like everything. And I was like, I deserve a raise. And I actually did get it. I got like a 40% raise. Wow. So all of those things help, and you got to know your worth and ask for what you deserve.
Exactly. That's important, because a lot of women don't. They feel like, this is what I've been offered and this is where I'm going to stay.
Right. You can't think, okay, this is my salary. How am I going to make myself pay this? I said, I just got to figure out how to make more money.
Exactly.
And that's what really did it for me.
We all hustles, right? So what quality, let's get that. I want to get into your personal BI just a little bit.
Okay.
So do you believe in love at first sight?
That's hard to say. I mean, that's never happened to me. I believe that you could look at somebody and be like, okay, I like him, so probably something's going to happen. I believe in a chemistry.
Yes.
You know, like immediate chemistry, but I don't know if I would call it love.
Okay. Is it wrong for a woman to have sex with a man on the first date? Have you done it? And did it cause the relationship to go sideways?
I've never had sex on the first date, and I've also never had a one-night stand. Right. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, I have friends that have had sex with guys on the first date, and they ended up staying with them for years and years and years. Sure. And then you have people that hold out, and they don't end up being with that person at all, you know? So, exactly. I mean, guys do enjoy a bit of a chase, but, you know, who knows? You might be away somewhere and having the most amazing day of your life. You know, that's never happened to me, but... and it could happen. I don't judge based off of that, you know. I mean, some guys, they'll tell you that it doesn't bother them, but I'm sure they think to themselves, if she just had sex with me on the first date, I'm sure she does this
with other guys.
Even if you don't, you can't even say, oh, this doesn't normally happen, because it just sounds corny.
Exactly.
So, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, though. I just haven't had the opportunity
to do it. Oh, my God. All right, so what qualities do you look for when dating a man?
Well, like I said, have a good sense of humor. That's really important to me. Mm-hmm. And guys that are smart and that are very ambitious. I can't stand a guy that is in a certain place and very content to be there. I want him to be just like me, always trying to figure out what's the next thing, you know, that I could do. And, you know, obviously, I like to laugh, so a good sense of humor. I like people that are spontaneous and fun. Like, I like to go out. I like to have a good time. You know, it's important to me that a guy can, like, get along with my friends, because I have a lot of friends, and they're not that hard to get along with. So, you know, all of those things.
So you hear that, fellas? This is what you got to do if you want to get in this. All right, I'm not even going to say the rest. I know from your show you're not waiting on a man to get a house. So I know you've been saving. Have you been house hunting?
Yes, I do. I look at houses every day. It's so tough. I feel like I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy a house in Brooklyn, but you know, I'm getting closer. I'm just feeling like this is one of the most difficult things ever. It's just trying to find a house, but I'll be so relieved when it works out.
Has it been hard to save to get a house?
I've been doing good. Like, I already have the money saved up and put away that I need for it. I already got my pre-approval. I did everything that I need to do. Nice. So in the meantime, I'm just stocking up some more money, whatever. But, you know, like, I'm good to go. I'm ready. I got my percentage that I need to put down. I got my pre-approval. I got everything.
I love it. Independent women all the way. So you had an interview with Black Enterprise. You described that in a little, sometimes you have to go backwards in order to go forwards in the big picture. So can you explain that? And also, what would you do? Would you do it again? Like, how you handled your situation with the money and everything like that?
Yeah, I would definitely. I feel like I did a good job. I learned a lot of lessons along the way. But I did go from making a lot more money to going to work as serious and making a lot less money.
Right.
So that was important, though, because I struggled a lot for, like, you know, a couple of years because of that. But it was important because you have to see the bigger picture. Do something that you love to do.
Exactly.
Because you might start off down here, but if you enjoy it and you love it, you're eventually going to make a lot of money doing it.
Exactly.
You know, and you'll figure it out. But, you know, I always tell, like, my interns that we have and the younger people that I know that aren't making so much money right now is that part of my life when I really was, like, struggling, like, trying to make it on $10 a week and all of that, when I had no money, it was really a fun time.
Really?
Because you get very creative.
Right. It's true. You do have to get creative.
Yeah, I was so creative during that time on figuring out ways that I could, like, make sure I got to eat every day, going to events because I knew they was going to have free food, you know.
Exactly.
And just, like, you know, just going out with people that you're like, okay, let me go take this meeting because I know it's going to be a lunch involved.
We should write an article on that. How to budget and make it stretch. How to make your $10.
Yeah, I was making my money stretch, like, some way, somehow. But it all worked out. And it was really fun because, you know, during that time, most of my friends, we all didn't have any money.
Exactly.
So it wasn't like I was alone. It was like we was all like, okay, come over. We're going to have ramen noodles. Let's put our money together. I think
everybody lived off of some ramen noodles, especially throughout college. So we've all had our heart broken at some point. Tell us about your biggest heartbreak.
I think, you know, I had, like, a terrible relationship with my ex-boyfriend. He was the worst. I was with him for, like, 4 years. Wow. But, yeah. But, you know what? It was his birthday, and he had left his email, like, open at my house. So I was like, let me take a look. But
uh-oh. We know how that goes.
Yeah, it didn't end well for him. So I had to call him and be like, yeah, you know what? We're not going to go to dinner tonight. But I'm always very calm in things that I do. Right. So even when I addressed it with him, I already had my suspicions. And I think the problem is that no guy is going to admit that they're cheating on you. Sometimes, and I told him, I said, look, I'm sorry that I did that, but you did so much grimy stuff. Like, he called me by accident from another girl's house, and I could hear that, and he would be like, no, I didn't. You know, it's just you just deny everything. So I was like, if you would have just maybe been more honest about things, I wouldn't have felt the way that I felt. But I think sometimes as women, we feel like we need evidence. And I always say, if you aren't prepared to leave somebody, then don't bother going through their stuff, because you're just going to be mad. And if you're going to stay with them, what was the point? If you can say to yourself, I'm going to look at his email, and if I find something in there that is undeniably he's cheating on me, I'm leaving him, then that's the only reason you should do it. And to me, I was like, if I see something in here that confirms my suspicions, I can't be with him anymore.
And you felt it. You had that gut feeling like something was going on, right?
Yeah, I didn't know he was that bad, though.
Whoa, what did he do?
No, he was awful.
Oh, jeez.
But you know what? It's funny because it happened a few years ago. We're cool now because I'm so over it that I could, like, still
be friends.
Yeah, at first I didn't talk to him at all, but now because it's so over and done with, like, you know,
How do you feel about that? Because I had a couple of my girlfriends talking about the fact that of being friends with your ex. Do you think it's possible?
I don't think you could be friends with them right away, like when you first break up. But, you know, if later on down the line, once you're over it, you've moved on, you dated other people, you could be cool. I wouldn't really even consider him my friend like that. It's hard because, like, you know their families, and, you know, like his sister, his cousin might still hit me up, and his nephew, who I've known since he was a little baby, you know. So all of that, you feel like, okay, I'm not going to be a jerk to your whole family just because we're not together anymore. So, you know, it is what it is. But I think that just right away you can't be friends.
Exactly. Are you dating anyone now?
Yeah, I date. I love dating. So, yeah, I'm having a good time.
You having a good time? Enjoying that single life?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. You know, I mean, I'm definitely dating somebody that I like a lot, but sometimes you don't know how things are going to turn out. And I'm very cautious now. Like, if I'm dating somebody, before I'm going to be like, okay, that's my man, I got to feel like 95% certain that this is going to work out.
Exactly.
I mean, you never know for sure what's going to happen, but I got to feel like the odds are in my favor.
Exactly. I agree. I know that you have some West Indian in your blood. Where are you from?
Well, my mother is Montserratian. So, you know, Montserrat is right next to Antigua in the Lesser Antilles. And actually, my grandfather, you know, he used to live there. And then the volcano eruption happened. So everybody had to evacuate the island.
Wow.
And he moved to Miami, which I don't think he liked it that much in comparison. But it's a beautiful place. Like, I would spend, you know, all my Christmas vacations there, my summers there.
Wow.
For months at a time. It's so... I actually have to get back there sometime soon. But it's hard for people to live there now because there's an active volcano.
That's crazy. I would like to go there. Is it a small island?
It's really small. Like, you could walk across it.
Is it smaller than Bermuda? Have you been to Bermuda before?
I've never been to Bermuda, but I would think it is. I would think it is. You know, it's just sad because I think, like, even when it happened, a lot of people couldn't move back into their homes, and they didn't get the insurance that they were supposed to get because it was such a disaster. So it was just a difficult time because he had retired there and built, like, his home from scratch.
Wow.
Like, when I was little, I was there watching them move each, you know, thing to build the house. So
to leave that behind, that has to be hard.
I know, it was so beautiful. I felt really bad about that.
Well, maybe he could go back one day. Well,
he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's okay.
All right, so I know as a West Indian myself that we have a little pepper sauce in our
Where are you from?
Trinidad.
Okay. You Trinis are crazy.
I know. How old were you when you had your first kiss?
Oh, you know what? It's funny. The first time that somebody kissed me, I didn't know what it was. because I was in 6th grade, and this boy tried to kiss me and I do like a pet kiss. He tried to tongue kiss me, and I didn't know what it was. And I was like, "Why are you licking my mouth?" I was like disgusted. I went to the water fountain. I like scrubbed my mouth. I was like, "This is so disgusting."
I bet you were traumatized.
I didn't, because I had no idea what it was. And then I told one of my friends, I said, "This boy just licked my mouth."
Oh my God.
And she was like, "Oh, he tongue kissed you." And I was like, "That's right."
That is nasty. I wouldn't want that to be my first experience.
I didn't know what it was. I was a late bloomer.
So, I know you wanted to be an author as a child and also a filmmaker. What changed that, or is that still something you might
That
do
is definitely something that I still could do, because I feel like it doesn't matter how old you are or, you know, where you are in your life. I just feel like things have been just so rush for me. I still write all the time.
Wow.
So, you know, who knows what might happen. I was
going to say that.
Yeah, I have some things in the works.
Hit me up. Let me know what you plan on. All right, so what's next for Angela Yee?
Well, I am trying to get this television show done, something that I'm doing myself. On the Breakfast Club, we have a weekend show that's syndicated in 48 markets right now on the weekend. So that's a big deal, and we feel like bigger and better things are going to happen from that as well. So you know, it's a lot right now. I'm just trying to like
downsize.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what? I just try to. I feel like sometimes you spread yourself out too much, and it's hard to be really great. So I just try to be really great right now, doing my radio thing, and then I'll take on like one thing at a time, just to, you know.
Exactly. Are you gonna return for season 2 of the Gossip Game?
We haven't even discussed it yet, so I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Would you do it if they offered it?
We haven't discussed it yet. I have no idea what's going on.
Come on, let us know.
I mean, I don't know because they haven't said anything at all. I don't know who else is coming back.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. So I can't, until like they say anything to me, I don't know.
Nothing's going to happen. Okay, what advice do you have for young women trying to make a come up and a name for themselves in the industry?
I would just say that make sure you respect everybody. Whether you're dealing with somebody that works in the mailroom or somebody that is a CEO of a company, you have to treat them with the same amount of respect. I would say make sure you're about your business, be on time. Being on time is so important. A lot of people cannot get that right. So first and foremost, just be on time, you know, and be prepared. You got to make sure you do your research for wherever it is that you're going to do. And those are some, you know, great tips. And be humble. Just know people are going to ask you to do stupid things. We had one intern and Envy made her clean the shit off his sneakers.
Stop lying.
I thought that was whack. But she did it. And I think she's a great intern for that because she didn't complain. She was like, okay.
Was he laughing the whole time?
No, because he was dead serious. But, you know, as an intern, if somebody asked me to do that, I would have did it too. And I would have went home and cursed them out. But I would have been sitting there scrubbing away.
Exactly. Doing what you got to do to make a name for yourself, right? Wow. All right. I appreciate this. And WMDSF Magazine would love to thank you for being a part of this. And everybody stay tuned, okay? Because you're going to see her. She's doing a lot of projects, and she's up and coming and on top of her game. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking your time,
Thank
too.
you.
Everything's been working out with me just fine. No more drama.